Okay, here we are taking a look at standard 4.1, which is all about the digestive system. So we're going to take a look at how the digestive system is going to take our food and convert it into small molecules that our bodies can actually use. So you'll describe the process of digestion. You recognize that the macromolecules that we eat have to be converted into smaller molecules that can then be used inside of our cells. And you'll look at the importance of enzymes and the proper functioning of the digestive system. So we just did a whole unit on enzymes, and now we're going to continue on with that. So here's some of the essential vocabulary. Now, most people have studied the digestive system before, and a lot of this should be reviewed, but you'll see a few new things in here. We're going to start with a quick study of nutrition. Now, nutrition describes all of the things that you need to take into your body. Number one nutrient that you have to take into your body is water. Without water, your cells would not be able to do chemical reactions. Your blood would not be able to transport things around the body. Remember, you are over 75% water, so water is an absolutely essential nutrient. Carbohydrates, remember, are our main source of energy in living things, so that's one of our 4 groups of organic molecules. So we would not be able to get enough energy for our cells without eating our carbohydrates. Fats. Fats are a very important part of our diet, and a lot of people don't think of them that way, but they are, because they are involved in making cell membranes. They help to develop our nervous system. They can act as our hormones. They help us to get vitamins into our body. They provide insulation, and then they are also an excellent store of excess energy. So we want to make sure we take good fats in, which are the ones that are liquid at room temperature, and the bad fats are the ones that are solid at room temperature. All right, continuing on, there's proteins. Proteins are also needed for a lot of different things. We've talked about this. So growth and repair, your muscles are made up of proteins. Transporting things around the body, transporting things in and out of cells. Regulatory functions, what we're talking about here are your enzymes. Remember, your enzymes control chemical reactions and speed them up. So without your enzymes, you would not be able to function at all as a living thing, because most of the reactions that happen in your body take more energy than we could ever produce to make them happen. Vitamins, very often vitamins that we would take in, vitamin C, vitamin B, all that kind of stuff, most of them are going to work with enzymes, and they're going to help our enzymes to do their jobs properly. And then finally we have minerals. A lot of different minerals that we take in, like calcium, makes up the structure of bone. So a lot of our different minerals will make up the structure of our different tissues. Iron is a mineral that we have to take in that helps our body to transport blood. So that's a specific body process. Magnesium is another one that helps enzymes work. So there's a lot of different places where minerals come in that we need to take them in. So a lot of people will take a multivitamin every day. Not really a necessary thing. If you are eating a healthy diet, you should be getting all of the vitamins that you need. But if you are not, you don't like certain kinds of foods or you don't tend to eat them, then taking a multivitamin can be very helpful. Alright, so let's take a look at the digestive system. The digestive system's job, its function, is to break food down into small molecules that can be used by cells. Food has to be processed quite a bit before that can happen, before the cells can get to it. So there's 2 ways that food is going to get processed in the body. The first is mechanical digestion, which basically is chewing. That is the biggest source of mechanical digestion that we have. So we're going to take large pieces of food, and we're going to break them down into smaller and smaller pieces, and then those small pieces can be processed by the body. Mechanical digestion also happens in other places in the body, so as we come across those things, we'll talk about them some more. But the main form of mechanical digestion is chewing. Once the food is into small pieces, then chemical digestion can occur, and most chemical digestion occurs because of the enzymes that we have. There are also other chemicals that are involved with this, but we're going to break food down into the very smallest molecules that they can possibly be, and then those molecules will get absorbed into our cells. Alright, so the alimentary canal is basically all of the organs through which food passes. So there's several organs that are involved with digestion, but food only passes through some of them. Some of the organs food never passes through, but they're just as essential. So when you take a bite of food, to think about where it goes. So it goes in your mouth, goes down your pharynx, which is also known as your throat, down your esophagus to your stomach, and then it heads on to the small intestine, where it's going to get completely broken down and absorbed into your blood. Whatever is left goes to the large intestine. That's where water will be taken out. And then that's where the feces are made. And then the rectum is where the feces are stored until you can get rid of all of your waste. So those are the organs to which the food is going to pass. So we're going to start by taking a look at those, and then we will take a look at the other organs that are involved in this process. Okay, so again here, taking a look at this particular graphic, you need to label all of these different parts. So your mouth is the first entry point for your food, and then it travels down the pharynx, which is your throat, to your esophagus, and then over into your stomach, and then you hit your small intestine, then the large intestine, and then finally the rectum. Now, other things that are involved with digestion but which food does not pass through, these are your accessory organs. Your salivary glands are going to make saliva, very important part of the digestive process. Your liver is an essential organ, not just in digestion but in life in general, because it helps to clean your blood and regulate a lot of different processes. Behind your liver is another organ called the gallbladder. And your pancreas, probably one of the most essential organs in the entire body, is kind of this, looks like almost a thumb-shaped organ behind the stomach. So a lot of these ones you can't really see because they're covered by other organs, but they are essential to helping the body's digestion occur correctly. All right, so we're going to start with the mouth. This is your first entry point for food. Your teeth is where your majority of your mechanical digestion is going to happen. So you're going to break down your food into smaller and smaller pieces. Saliva is going to moisten food so that you can actually swallow it. And saliva also is where our first bit of chemical digestion is going to happen, because it contains an enzyme called amylase. And remember, ends in ASE, that's how we know it's an enzyme. So amylase specifically will break down starches. So as soon as you put starchy food into your mouth, this enzyme amylase is going to start breaking down those foods into individual monosaccharides. You also have a tongue in your mouth that is going to help to form what's called the bolus. The bolus is the ball of food that you swallow. It's when you chew and your tongue moves everything around, you actually make food into this like ball that's moist, and then it can easily go down your esophagus. If you ever try to swallow food too fast and you can kind of feel it going down, that's because you didn't moisten it enough or get it into the right shape. So the tongue is actually a really important part for eating properly. If you didn't have your tongue, you would probably have to eat softer foods or chew it a lot more than you normally do. All right, from your mouth, your food passes from the pharynx. Remember, your pharynx is your throat. So we go right through the pharynx and down into the esophagus. There is a flap of skin that covers over your windpipe called the epiglottis. And so when you swallow, you're going to cover over your windpipe with the epiglottis, and that keeps you from choking, so that food doesn't go down the wrong tube. You ever hear that phrase? That actually means that we're swallowing. If you try to swallow and you're laughing at the same time, the epiglottis will come open and food can get down your windpipe, and that's how choking can occur. Your esophagus is a very long tube that connects the mouth down to the stomach. And the way that food is going to get moved down to the stomach is through rhythmic muscle contractions called peristalsis. So these are involuntary muscle contractions. When you swallow, your esophagus automatically starts pushing that food down into the stomach. Over and over again, just kind of pushing it down until all of the food empties down into your stomach. So up next, we will take a look at the stomach. We're going to start with the functions of the stomach. Your main function for your stomach is actually for the storage of undigested food, not for digestion itself. A lot of people don't understand that, but really the main job here is storage. Not a lot of digestion actually happens in the stomach. You do get a lot of mechanical breakdown of food, and this happens through something called churning. So the food is going to get churned up over and over again, and that's because the stomach will be doing muscle contractions. If you ever hear your stomach making noises, that's because it's constantly doing contractions, And if there's nothing in your stomach, then it makes louder noises because it's just kind of pushing air and liquid around. You do get some chemical digestion happening, and that happens from the various acids that are in your stomach. So you have hydrochloric acid that's in your stomach, and there are some enzymes that can do jobs in there, but not a whole lot of chemical digestion is happening in the stomach. It's mostly just for storage and producing something called chyme. So chyme is your liquefied food that gets mixed up with the gastric juices. So the hydrochloric acid, all of that stuff that gets kind of excreted and secreted into your stomach, all mixed together is chyme. You've probably seen chyme if you've ever thrown up. That's what chyme is. It's just that partially digested food. By the time it moves on to the next portion of your digestive system, it will be completely liquefied before it goes on to the small intestine. So digestion and absorption in the summer. We will start to digest proteins, and the enzyme involved in that is called pepsin. It's one of the few enzymes that actually does not end in ACE. The digestion of carbohydrates will continue with the amylase that was from the mouth, so that can continue, but the stomach does not actually produce any of its own enzymes for carbohydrate digestion. There's very little absorption of nutrients happening in the stomach. Some things can get absorbed out of the stomach: alcohol, aspirin, ibuprofen, pain medicines, things like that, some drugs, those types of things can get absorbed out of the stomach, but nutrients do not get absorbed out of the stomach almost at all.